Meanwhile, at the Brooklyn Heights apartment at Roxanne and Jack's apartment in the living room, Roxanne is pacing back and forth. Till her husband came in and closed the door, and she saw, I got here as soon as I can. I'm thinking, what happened with Ricky is just remind me of Oi. And as Jack went and pulled his wife into a hug, which she returned the favor resound in them hugging each other, and as Jack held her in his arms. It's alright. We're gonna get through this. And as they pull away and face each other. That's just it. I really don't know if I can. Meanwhile, at the Brownsville Garden apartment at Mimi and Frank's apartment in the front area, Gloria, Maria, and Holden came downstairs to the living room, and as they went and sat on the couch, I cannot believe it's the first day already. Yeah, seems like the new year has barely begun. Well, it did, for the matter. Might as well get this day started. Not so fast! And as Denise came in from the kitchen, and Gloria, Maria, and Holden saw her. You might as well get yourselves comfortable, because I come bearing news. What is it? It seems there have been change of plans, as you say. What do you mean change of plans? You two lot will be attending school elsewhere. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Goodrum Hotel in Claire and Greg's room, Claire, Gwen, and Rachel are waiting while they're talking. Why would she wander off? It's not like her to do something like that. Exactly. Mom, and as Rachel looked at Claire, who saw, girls, we're gonna find your sister. I'm just glad your older sister Grace is safely in Australia. And as Greg came in and closed the door, and Claire, Gwen, and Rachel saw him. Dad, what is it? Girls, can you give your mother and I a minute and wait in the lobby with your brother? You're not going to Tesco. And as Rachel and Gwen turned, went and left the room with Greg closing the door. And as he turned and faced his wife. Where the hell is our daughter, Greg? You're not gonna believe this. Just tell me, where is she? Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the hallway, Taylor and Kyle look at each other before leaning in and begin kissing each other. And as they pull away, I don't know why, but being with you just feels right. I couldn't agree more. Why don't we take this to my room? Okay. After this, and as they continue kissing each other, unaware around the corner as an arrow bow with someone holding it, aiming directly at Taylor, while she and Kyle are still kissing each other. Meanwhile, in Mrs. Drake's classroom, students are talking amongst each other. Let's get to Cindy, Phoebe, Matt, Aaron, Julian, and Brody who are talking, and as Phoebe is reshuffling the card deck. If I didn't know any better, you lot decided to let us win. Wrong. We were close to defeating you. Close is not cutting it in winning throats. Settle down, everyone, and as Miss Drake and a new student came in. And as they arrived at the front and turned and faced the class. And as Julian noticed, and as he talked amongst his friends, looks like we got a new student. And as Cindy, Phoebe, Matt, Aaron, and Brody notes. Alright everybody, if you all can just take your places right now, we can begin this lesson. And as everyone turned, went, and sat down in their respective spots. Meanwhile, in the chemistry lab, as Year 4 students and Doug are surprised by Tobias' arrival. Have you completely lost the plot? I haven't lost anything. We deserve to know exactly what happened to our fellow student, dude. He was my brother and his cousin. Ricky was also family to all of us. Or have you even forgotten? Tobias, my office now. I'm not going anywhere. You know more than you letting on. Mate, back off, or what? And as Joshua got up and stormed to where Tobias is. Oh, I see you really want to do this right now. Tobias, my office. Joshua, your room. Now! Meanwhile, outside Dryden Park Academy, Lucy and Eric are talking. Thank you. I needed that. No problem. Whatever forces we have, we can defeat it. I really hope so. Hey, no doubts, okay? You are a good lad. I try to be. Suddenly, someone in the woods that's been watching them made a noise, which Lucy heard. Did you hear that? Hear what? Look, don't stress out. It was probably a squirrel or something. Yeah, you're right. Let's head inside. And as Lucy and Eric went inside, unaware that in the woods across from them, something that's been looking at them glared an evil red eye. Meanwhile, at the Brooklyn Heights apartment at Roxanne and Jack's apartment in the living room, Roxanne and Jack are talking. Honey, we talked about this. Yes, I know that. The thing is, every time I see a glimmer of a reminder, it really brings me back to that place. I am trying my best, you're not alone in this. Not at all. Even though I'm protecting the city of New York, you and the kids are my family. You lot always come first, and I value that every single day. How did you get to be so brave? Because I am. And there's no way that's gonna change. Meanwhile, at the Brownsville Garden Apartments at Mimi and Frank's apartment in the living room, Denise, Gloria, Maria, and Holden are talking. Elsewhere? Is this some sort of wind-up? No, it isn't. Those are strict orders from your parents. Speaking of which, and as Denise looked at Maria who saw, I'm gonna need some privacy, so I have to ask you to leave. No, she's going nowhere for the matter. Where exactly did they say they're gonna be moving us? All I know is you two lot are gonna be heading to England. Then I'm coming as well. Aww, you wanna come too? With your little friends? That is so cute. Not gonna happen. Meanwhile, in Paris, friends at the Good Charm Hotel in Claire and Greg's room, Claire and Greg are talking. Are you messing with me right now? I wish I was. I asked the guy who showed me the CCTV footage of Jan getting into a car with two strangers. Do you know what happened? Yeah. Jan had to have been kidnapped by these men, and they're not gonna get away. Honey, your police power won't work here. Speaking of which, how did you get that CCTV footage? Did I mention I had some mates here? That's how I was able to uncover what happened. I'm gonna have Gwen, Rachel, and Sean along with Courtney sent back to Brooklyn, New York. What's your plan? We're getting our daughter back one way or another. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the hallway, Taylor and Kyle are still in a kiss. Unaware that there's an arrow aimed directly at Taylor's back. Let's get back to Taylor and Kyle, who's still in the kiss. And as they pull away. How's that? Well, consider myself reassured. Why don't you let me walk you to class, and then I come by and see how you're doing? Okay. And as they begin walking down the hall, till Taylor stopped and realized she forgot some. And soon Kyle also stopped and turned and faced her. What's wrong? I forgot my room key. Look, why don't you go ahead and I catch up with you later, yeah? I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm sure you will. And as Kyle went and walked away, as Taylor watching. Amazing. And as Taylor turned and head back to her room, and as she's walking, she's suddenly struck by an arrow on her back, which caused her to instantly collapse to the ground. Meanwhile, in Mrs. Drake's classroom, the students are facing Mrs. Drake with the new student there. Good morning, class. And as the students said, Good morning, Miss Drake. Welcome back to the second term of the season. I trust you lot had a good holiday and come back looking forward to be diving into some hard work. Now, before we begin, I'm certain you lot noticed a new student before you here. His name is Hunter Montgomery. I'm certain everyone will do everything in their power to make him feel welcome here at Dryden Park. Is that understood? And as the students said, Yes, Miss Drake. Meanwhile, in Mrs. Hartley's classroom, class is in session, just as Lucy and Eric both came in, with Eric closed the door, which Tina saw. You two do know class started 5 minutes ago, and as they saw Tina, who isn't pleased. Yeah, I was making certain my little sister will. Yes, I know about your sister, which makes your excuse valid, Eric. I was just supporting him. You, on the other hand, will be let out with a warning. Next time it's detention. Take your places. I'm quite certain that wouldn't be too hard to do. And as Lucy and Eric went and sat down in their respective spots, just as Tina went and faced the front. Now, we're gonna be reading from Shakespeare. And as Doug came in and everyone saw along the team, excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's fine, Headmaster. You have something to say for the class? Actually, I do. I just want to let you lot know that you will need school passes to leave the school campus. No exception. Do I make myself clear? And as the students said, Yes, Headmaster. Please continue what you lot were doing. And as Doug in turn went and closed the door. Let's get to Lucy and Eric who are talking. What was that about? I think I know. Meanwhile, at the Brooklyn Heights apartment at Roxanne and Jack's apartment in the living room, Roxanne came back in with 2 cups of coffee and saw Jack, who just hung up the phone just as she arrived, and she gave him one which she got. What's going on? Steve called. There's gonna be a wake at Dryden Park. I guess that does make sense, since he was a legend there. After that, he's gonna be flown here to have another service, so we can pay respects to him. I just feel so hopeless. Hey, Carol and Steve know we got their backs, no matter what. It's more than that. What do you mean? I just feel powerless when we can actually contribute in something. Somehow, we are by being there for them. You know what? I think I might have an idea. Meanwhile, at the Brownsville Garden Apartments at Mimi and Frank's apartment in the living room, Denise, Gloria, Maria, and Holden are talking. In case you're unaware, Maria and I are a package deal. Denise, she's coming or we're not going anywhere. We don't even know if her parents will even approve of moving thousands of miles away. Then why don't you let them be the judge? You know what? Fine. Go in the study and make the call, Maria. And as Maria got up and went and walked away, while Gloria and Holden look at Denise. What? We may be kids, but we're not naive or stupid. I know this whole dramatic move has something to do with Ricky Graham's death. How did you laugh? Because it's not a mystery, mate, which explains the whole moving thing. Meanwhile, in Paris, France, at the Good Charm Hotel in Claire and Greg's room, Claire is waiting while Greg's on the phone. Yes, make sure they get there safely. Alright, Stan, thank you. I'll owe you one. And as Greg hung up and came back to where his wife is, our little girl, how could we let this happen? You know what? I knew something was off when I was talking to her not too long ago. What do you mean by that? I had a chat with her, telling her that something happened with Ricky, and she was acting a little bit dodgy. Damn, I should have listened to the instance. Don't blame yourself. You have no idea what's conspired. The only ones to blame is the ones who kidnapped her. I want to know exactly who took her. And as Claire and Greg went and left the room. Meanwhile, in the outskirts of London, England, inside the Dryden Park Academy in the hallway, Kyle came back after hearing the noise. Taylor, what's going on? Did you hear? And as he see her laying on the ground with an arrow on her back. Oh my God, Taylor! And as Kyle ran to where she is and got down and tried to feel a pulse on her. Taylor, no, I cannot lose you. Meanwhile, in Mrs. Drake's classroom, the students are facing Mrs. Drake and Hunter. Aaron, and as Miss Drake looked at Aaron, who saw, yes, Miss Drake, I want you to be Hunter's personal buddy. Show him about the school and update him on the events that's happening, yeah? Yes, Miss Drake. Good. Brody, you mind moving to the back, sitting next to Matt, so Hunter can sit next to Aaron? And as Brody in turn got up and got his stuff and went and sat in the wall behind Aaron next to Matt, while Hunter went and sat next to Aaron. Now then, let's begin the lesson for today. I will be passing out the new summary outline for the season. Learn it well. Front row people, take one and pass it behind you. And as Miss Drake went and hand the pamphlets to the people in the front row, and as they all took one and each passed it to the back, just as Doug came in, and everyone saw long Miss Drake. Headmaster, what a pleasant surprise. Same here. I have something that I need to address to your class. Sure, Headmaster. The floor is yours. Meanwhile, in Mrs. Hartley's classroom, class is in session while Tina is speaking before the class. I'm gonna be placing an addition sheets on the table by the door in addition to the hallway for upcoming play, which will be revealed next week. Spoiler alert, if you are selected, just know it will count as an extra grade towards your final grade in this class. Speaking of class, I'm gonna be pairing you lot up for the first play we're gonna be doing. Lucy, Eric, since you two lot were the last ones that arrived here, you mind helping me out by passing those books to everyone that's on that table? And as Lucy and Eric in turn got up and went, and each got the books and start handing out to each student while Tina's continued talking. We're gonna be going through this whole book, including some homework assignments. By the way, it's a $25 charge for a new one should you lose it. Not that you lot be paying for it, mostly your parents will be getting the bill. And as Lucy and Eric finished passing all the books and went and sat down in respected spots with their book. Thank you, Lucy and Eric. Now then, open your books to page 17. Let's get to Lucy and Eric who are talking. You're still on of what happened. Yeah, and I have a funny feeling that something big is about to arrive as we all know it. Meanwhile, outside the Dryden Park Academy within the woods, something that's had the red glare that's been watching the school is on the move. And as we begin approaching towards the school entrance.